Evan here. So, 2017 has come and gone. And you know what, Trump? He was right about a lot of stuff. But one thing he was wrong about is we are not sick of winning. I'm not sick of winning. I think we need to keep this momentum going. Guys, 2017 was a landmark year for us. It was the first year in a long time I felt like the pendulum started to swing back in our favor, towards libertarianism, towards nationalism, towards free market capitalism. But here's the thing, guys. The left will never let us rest on our laurels. We had so many victories. We had the Trump election. We had the failure of the Russian probe and all that propaganda that they tried to push down our throats that got exposed for what it is. We had the big wins on university campuses for free speech, stuff like what happened at Winford Laurier. And the reason we had so many wins, I think, was because when the left starts to push further and further left, they get exposed as to what they really are. Their agenda gets exposed. It's like gay marriage, right? I heard some guy talking on a show the other day, and he was saying how he sent a tweet out back in 2008, and it was about, transgender people being mentally ill or something like that, and nothing happened. People laughed at it. People retweeted it. It got a lot of retweets. He sent the same tweet out again in 2017, and people called for him to be killed. They wanted him fired from his job. They were sending him threats. That's what the left does. They try to change the culture as fastly, as quickly, and as just totalitarian in a way as they can. And if they see any pushback, they just push further and further to the left. And people start to realize they don't care about gay rights, right? They pushed gay marriage in California, and they acted like everybody in the nation wanted gay marriage and that everybody was for it because it's equality. Even though the state of California, the majority of people in California voted against gay marriage, they still pushed it down our throats. And people were okay. They said, all right, well, gays can get married. Now, good. We're done with the issue. But they couldn't leave it there. They had to start pushing the trans thing. And now they're pushing the pedo thing. And that's the way they do things. That's the way the left gets exposed, because people start to see through that it's not about rights for minorities or rights for LGBTQ, well, the gay and lesbian at least. They see that's about destroying American culture, Western values, and anything that resembles what the country had that made it great in the first place, that made it prosperous, that made families successful. So we cannot rest on our laurels. The left has so much stuff planned for 2018. And as we've seen before, when the left start to lose, they will burn something to the ground. They will destroy everything if they cannot have a victory. So I think in 2018, we will see exactly that. We will see the left go balls to the wall. They will probably try to get Trump impeached or push some sort of crazy thing that really just shows how deranged they are when it comes to attacking Trump. We will definitely see more violence from groups like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I think we're going to see a lot more money being sunk into these big protests from the billionaires who sort of set the pace and the agenda for the left. And you can already see this on It's Going Down and websites like protestandresist.com. I went out and looked at these to see what was going on just this month for January of 2018. And I think that's going to be our sort of divider rod to see how things are going to be going forward in this year. And one thing I noticed is they have a lot of stuff that they are going to try to repeat from 2017. One of them is the Women's March on Washington. That's going to be their big one. I think that's going to be their sort of defining moment for 2018 if it goes well for the left. They're going to try to bring back the Women's March. I don't think personally it's going to be very successful. See, the original Women's March got exposed pretty quickly as being all about bashing Trump and trying to divide male and female. And I think people are seeing through that. They're actually having two marches in the same day. They're having the Women's March on Washington, and they're having the hashtag #MeToo March. So they're going to try to combine the Women's March with this march against sexual harassment. And even the Me Too movement has lost all credibility because they're not going after the actual sexual predators. They're using it to try to chop down Republican candidates like they did with Roy Moore. And, that took all the credibility out this movement. So I think the Women's March will be a failure and the Me Too March will be a failure. But you never know. They might sink millions of dollars into it. They might bus in activists from all over the country. We've seen them do that kind of thing before. The thing I think that will make it fail is not just that it got exposed last year and that, men and women have got along for 200,000 years without any problems, and people are seeing through this divisiveness they're trying to push. But also, they played their hand with Linda Sarsours, and, they got exposed. People saw that this is not a woman who cares about women, and that she was leading this march. It was all about pushing an agenda, because this woman is pro-Sharia law. She apologizes for rapists and pedophiles. She's a piece of garbage. And as long as she's leading this march, I don't think it's going to be a success at all. The other thing they have planned are some impeachment marches. They have a big resistance march, and then they have the People's March on Washington planned for the weekend after the Women's March. And I think that's going to be a big thing too. I think that that's going to set the pace for what we'll see from groups like Refuse Fascism and Antifa, or the other groups that make up Antifa, I should say. With that march, you're going to probably see some violence, and they're also going to be having another march that same weekend that's going to be protesting the arrest of the people who were arrested during the Trump inauguration. So I think they're going to try to bring out their hit squads, their anarchists out there, and try to disrupt things and push more of this violence we've seen over the past few years that's been growing. And I think that our job is to just let them do it, let them keep on being peaceful, keep on trying to debate people with logic, keep on fighting the meme war and winning. That's how we get our momentum to continue building, and we're going to keep going out there, and we're going to keep doing great things in America, making America great again.